Sam and Anita McMillan have been operating a one-of-a-kind ministry for nearly 40 years. For thousands of hurting, desperate, broken people, the intervention that they experienced at His High Places was a turning point in their lives.
And have had great success in finding out what the roots of the problem were and then apply the healing measure.
Now, less than 3 years at their current location, they're being sued and forced to leave by a neighbor who has never met them.
We had closed with an attorney who did not tell us there were restrictions to not do business in this subdivision, and the realtor said the same, and the former owner of the house said there's no restrictions. 4 months into being here, our next door neighbor across the street filed a lawsuit that we were doing business in a restricted subdivision and they wanted us out.
This ministry has brought peace to so many. Hey, I'm Barry. I came to His High Places a little over a year ago now, absolutely at the bottom of a pit. And I sat right here in this chair across from Sam, and we talked. And I can honestly say that the Lord, through this ministry, has completely changed my life. And I'm not the only one.
At His High Places, I received healing and breakthrough that I don't believe that I could have received anywhere else.
God truly does a miraculous work here to heal you in the deepest part of your soul.
So much pulled out of me, even after years of counseling. I'm not numb anymore.
We've run the gamut of emotions associated with grief because we thought this was the perfect place, and now to know we're going to have to move. We've been depressed, we've been angry, we've been frustrated, we're moving in on acceptance and getting closer there.
They thought about legal action for compensation from the lawyer and realtor who made the mistakes, or countersuing, but felt that God had other plans.
It just always felt wrong. And so the surrender that was kind of like when Pilate said to Jesus, "Do you not know that I have the power of life and death over you?" And Jesus said, "I lay down my life willingly." And so we're not supposed to be here, but we're willingly going to leave. And we're trusting God to bring an amazing victory out of it.
They had to find a new home for the ministry, but they have a unique set of requirements for what they do. 4 to 5 bedroom suites with their own private bathrooms and counseling areas for their guests, a welcoming common area for group meals, office spaces, and an inspiring and beautiful setting.
This house is in a rhododendron forest. Sam called it an enchanted forest the first time he saw it. Our house in Banner Elk had a view of Grandfather Mountain.
So after months of searching, the Lord has brought them to the perfect location. A beautiful 5-acre plot on the south fork of the New River. The home has 4 master suites, a wonderful family dining area. The multiple garages will be turned into needed office spaces, and the basement will be turned into Sam and Anita's new full-time home.
So it's a perfect setting, even more so than this. And our emotions are catching up with what Sam said months ago. You know, God knew this all along. And that sort of made something settle inside of me, that even though we've been in a good bit of turmoil and struggle, if God already knew, then ultimately we'd be okay.
The new property is so much fuller and better a place to minister than we've ever served in. So rather than saying we lost by being run off from the property, it's an adventure of going to the new property. He knew that all the time. So go God.
As part of the remodeling process for the new facility, the group Campers on a Mission have agreed to bring their campers to the new house and do all the building at absolutely no charge.
When we saw this property, we were told that it had 2 campsites right down near the river with full water, electricity, and septic. And we were like, oh, that's interesting. And then Sam remembered about these RV missionaries who only need supplies and camper hookups. And there again, God knew that we would need them, and He already had the 2 campsites planned and in place.
So what we've come to is seeing that Romans 8:28 would mean the next place we would find, we'd go, that's what you're up to, and that's what's happened.
This new property is what this ministry needs to keep doing the important work. But because the old house has not yet been sold, they don't have access to the equity for the new down payment. They anticipate being responsible for 2 mortgages, moving expenses, and tens of thousands in construction materials, in addition to all their regular operating expenses. And all of this during a time when regular income from counseling is on hold for the move and renovation. Altogether, the moving expenses, the minimum down payment, the construction costs, and the closing costs are estimated to add up to over $157,000.
We would welcome any contribution, small, large, any kind of help that you could give. Do pray and see how God would motivate you to partner with us to achieve the good of Romans 8:28 out of what seemed like a losing possibility.
The deadline to move is very quickly approaching. Please consider making a gift to His High Places today so they can continue this important ministry.